All right, Algebra 1, we are moving on with 6.5. This one's talking about inequalities still, but we're talking about real-life applications of linear inequalities. So, what we want to do is, just like any other situation with equations, we want to set this up and then go ahead and solve for what we're looking for. Okay, so before we get to solving it, a couple steps you want to make sure to keep in mind as you're going through this. So first of all, figure out your total. Okay. Find what your total is. Okay, that's going to be like less than this much, greater than this much, or less than or equal to this much, greater than or equal to this much. Okay, and then figure out what is going to be with x. What is with x, or what is with your variable? Okay, what is with the variable? Or in other words, what happens more than once? More than once. Okay. Whatever goes more than once is going with the variable, and then find any other information. Okay. So in this first one, I'm going to go ahead and figure out what we have. I'm going to go ahead and highlight. So Missy is saving to attend a week at summer camp. So she wants to save a certain amount. She needs $250 to register. Okay, so there's what looks like our total. Okay, that is our total. So we need $250, but we can't have less than $250. So our inequality here needs to be greater than or equal to $250. Okay, her parents will contribute $75. Parents will contribute $75. She needs to raise the rest of the money for with babysitting, which is $12 per hour. Okay, so since it's per hour, since it's per hour, that's where the x is going to go. That's where the x is going to go. So, as we set this up, again, I've got my total first. So step one, my total is greater than or equal to $250. And then what's adding up to $250 is the 75 plus 12 per hour, which was 12x. So what we're trying to look for, what is the minimum number of hours? Okay. So in this case, another clue that it's greater than or equal to is right there. X has to be greater than or equal to a certain amount. So there we are. So now we can go ahead and solve. Okay, but again, got to set it up correctly first and then solve. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 75. And I've got 12x greater than or equal to 175. And then I divide by 12. And so, in that case, I don't know what that is. So I'm going to go to my calculator, which is right here. So 175 divided by 12, 14.5. Well, 14.5. So since we usually don't talk in decimals, like you're not going to babysit for 14 and a half hours. You're going to probably round up to the next hour. Okay, so Missy needs to babysit for at least 15 hours. Okay, and you can write that in whatever way you want, but 15 hours is your mark, okay? So round to the nearest hour, all right? So let's look at the next one. Kind of the same situation. It says the youth soccer team is fundraising by washing cars. They paid $84.55 for supplies. Okay, they paid that much, which means that's coming out of their total. If they charge $8 per wash, okay, how many cars must be washed to profit at least $300? Okay, well, I've got at least, so that's greater than or equal to again. So if it's greater than or equal to 300. So I've got $8 per wash, which is, since it's per wash, that's where the X is going to go. How many cars is going to be my X. So 8X. And then they paid this much for supplies. So they didn't add that to the total. They actually subtract that money and hope to make more. So they paid $84.55 for the supplies, which subtracts from the total. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Got to pay some money to then get a profit. Okay? So now we go ahead, get X by itself once again. $84.55. I've got 8X greater than or equal to $384.55. And so when I divide by 8, I get X is greater than or equal to $384.55 divided by 8, 48.07. So a little more than 48. So it's got to be greater than or equal to 48. But technically it was 48.0 what? 07. So to get $300, we're not going to be able to just do 48. So they need to wash at least 49 cars. Because if they just do 48, they're going to be a tiny bit short of $300. Okay? So, in that case, we need to do one more. All right? So, hopefully that makes sense. And if not, we can talk about it on our Zoom today or tomorrow. So, last one, and then I'll leave the last one to you to try. It says Joanne has a bank account of $350 in it. Okay, she has that much. Every week she withdraws or takes away from it. Okay, every week. So she does that more than once. What's the maximum number of weeks that Joanne can withdraw without allowing her bank account to drop below 210? So we have really two totals here. Okay, I've got 210. I want it to be greater than or equal to 210. It started here, and then we subtract from it. Okay? So, in the end, we want it to be greater than or equal to 210. Okay? And then we have $350 in there, but we subtract out $12.50 every week. So we're trying to figure out how many weeks can she do this without going below 210. All right, so let's figure it out. 350, subtract 350 to both sides, get negative 1250x greater than or equal to negative, what is that? 210 minus 350. 210 minus 350, negative 140. And then I divide by negative 1250, And hopefully we'll remember something here. And that is dividing by a negative. Red flag. My red flag's not very good. Shake it off. So, red flag means we need to flip the symbol. Okay, and then negative divided by negative is positive. 140 divided by negative 1250. That's going to be 11.2. All right, so 11 less than or equal to 11.2. So, what's less than 11.2 is just 11 weeks. So, in this case, it's again the question says, what's the maximum amount of weeks she can go? She can withdraw money for a max amount of 11 weeks. And then she's going to have to figure out something else. She's got to get a job or maybe just stop going to the movies as much. Okay, so hopefully that helps a little bit. Again, we can talk about that more tomorrow, but for now, I want you to go ahead and try this one. So if you need to pause and write this down, you can. I'll go ahead and read through it one time and then leave you be. So, a jet ski return charges a flat rate of $75 plus an additional $60 per hour. You do not want to spend more than $200. Okay, so if you do not want to spend more than $200, that's got to be, this is a little hint to get you started, less than or equal to $200. How many hours can you rent the jet ski and still be under the budget? So figure out what X goes with. Does X go with 75 or 60? And then figure out what your inequality is and solve. And then we'll talk about that one tomorrow. If you have any questions on the other three or the one you're working on today, let me know, and I'll be ready to get on Zoom with you. All right? Peace.